garbage.
What the is going on here? Hey everyone, welcome to Blkbored Bs. I am Ant. If you're new to this channel, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button and join this bitch clique, this girl gang, whatever you want to call it. We're all good times. We don't do anything but talk shit, wear makeup, and try new things. If you are not new to the channel and you're returning, how you doing, boo? Today we're basically just going to be watching me dye a wig. It's my first time doing this and I'm scared. I really don't know how this is going to turn out, and hopefully it comes out the way I want it to. Here's the hint. Fingers crossed, right? Also, if you're keeping up with our series, this is a clue. I've been on my nerd type shit lately, so I'm really hoping this turns out really good. I am also in the process of getting a new camera that's supposed to be delivered today. I apologize for these angles, I know they're horrid, but yeah, quit stalling, Ant. Let's just get to the process. Okay, so these are the supplies that I have so far. I got the dye, the brush, the beautiful wig that I ordered off of PremierLaceWigs. I'll leave that in the description box below if you're interested. And I've got this yellow Gorilla Glue that the wonderful lady told me to use on YouTube so I don't dye the lace. Alright everybody, as you can see right now I'm using the, not got2b, but the yellow Gorilla gel glue for this wig. It's supposed to prevent any of the dye from staining the lace. I was told to put multiple layers of it on there from the video, and you can see I kind of smeared it all over the place on this wig. I was not trying to ruin it. This wig is expensive. It costs a lot of money. Now I'm going to give you a bird's eye view of the first layer that I put on with the yellow Gorilla gel glue. I don't want us to get confused with that famous TikToker. You know the one I'm talking about. Now I'm going to take the blow dryer that I also bought that I haven't used on my natural hair yet, but I want to because it looks like it'll work really good. Anyway, we're getting off track. We're getting off topic. I'm using that to try and dry down the first layer so I can go ahead and apply the next layer of the yellow Gorilla gel. So you can basically see that I'm just going over it again with my second layer. I believe she said to use 3 layers, but I was adding on such a thick amount. I felt like it really only needed 2 at that time. So I took my little dye brush and I just spread that around like I did the first time and was praying to the wig gods that it would come out phenomenal. Here I am with my blow dryer again, turning it on the coolest setting and trying to dry it down again before we go into the next step of this process. Also, please ignore that Merry Christmas sign that's going to keep popping up throughout this video. I know it's not Christmas. I know we are in April. I don't want to put it away. It is what it is. So now I've got my splat, I've got my Tupperware, and I've got my hot water, and let me tell you, my paranoia and anxiety were through the roof trying to boil this water and make sure it was at the right temperature, okay? Because I swore up and down, honey, that I was going to burn these follicles on this wig, okay? And I did not want that. So I took all of the ingredients, like this color cream that I'm cutting off, and I'm going to add it into the little bottle dispenser that they gave. Now in the video, the girls literally just took the dye, put it in the water, swirled it around until it dissolved. Why I thought this was a better route to go, I don't know. Couldn't tell you, but I did. So I added the color cream into the dispenser bottle, and then you'll see me add the color cream, or not color cream, the color concentrate into that bottle as well. And then watch the catastrophe unfold. Okay, but look at how pretty this red is in the bottle and how it comes out so easily throughout the bottle dispenser. Like, I thought for sure, swore up and down it was gonna like just melt into the hot water, but apparently my hot water wasn't hot enough, because when I dipped the ends of the hair into it, it ended up looking like ketchup. Like I just dipped it in some hot sauce. Like, that's not cute. Look at that.
Garbage.
What the f is going on here? At this point, I figured I was just gonna go with it. I was like, well, maybe it'll get better if I keep dipping it in there. And as you can clearly see, it's only getting worse. I don't know why I keep going. I was like, maybe if I brush it, it'll come out better. Like, I was having a mini panic attack right here when I should have just been trusting the process this whole time. So you can tell right here that I just gave up on dipping. I took whatever I had for the rest of that dye in that bottle and just put it in with my hands with the gloves and just smeared it as evenly as possible. Got as close to the root as I can as possible. Let it sit for 15 minutes. Took it off, put the bag on there, let it sit for another 30 minutes, and was calling it done, so okay? Let it sit for 45 minutes total and we were good. So after the 45 minutes of letting it sit there and dye, I decided to rinse it out with some cold water and try to get the water to turn as clear as possible to let me know that the dye had actually sat in the hair the way that it wanted to and was going to turn out to be the color I wanted it to. Now that I got all the dye out and I'm pretty satisfied with it, I took it, rinsed it with my hand, and then I took my blow dryer that I used to dry the glue with it earlier. I keep saying glue, but we all know it's gel. Oh my word. I had the gel on earlier, and then just ran it through the hair to dry it as evenly as possible. That's my little helper over there. He was holding the camera for me while I was trying to rinse the dye out of the hair. He wanted to help me blow dry it too, but I have control issues and I wouldn't let him do it. This hair came out so soft, and I know it looks really orange up close and on the camera, but it's really red in person, like really, really red, and it's so soft. Even when it was wet, so soft. After dyeing, so soft. I didn't even add the conditioner in like it says that I probably should have done, but I just didn't. I just dried it, blow dried it, and was just blown away, no pun intended, how soft it was with little to no tangling at all. Like, you could see the rat tail is just going through it, no problem. Now we're down to the super easy part of just adding on the wig cap and then adding on the powder. Stretch it out a little bit, put it over this big old little noggin, and then we're gonna open up my black opal powder and throw that on top, add a fake scalp, and call it Gucci. In all honesty, I was gonna go more in depth and do like the seamless scalp type deal, but I didn't really feel like doing it. I had spent almost my entire night just doing the wig prior that, no, the morning came and I just wanted to get it done and over with. I'm impatient as is already, so I just wanted it done. I didn't need any extra gel on my forehead to make it stick and make it look realistic. No, we were just gonna do this and move on. After letting it dry overnight, it was still pretty damp in some areas of the wig, and I was okay with that because I was just gonna blow dry it again in the morning. As you can see, the areas I didn't put the gel in, it still ended up dyeing the inside, but for the most part of it, it was fine, and it slipped on pretty easily. So right here, I'm just trying to line it up with where I want it to meet with the wig cap underneath it. I want it to align pretty good with my ear so I know what parts to cut off. go through it with the blow dryer one more time, so when I start to straighten it, it'll go through a lot easier and a lot faster. Now that I got it lined up where the ear meets the ear and the thing covers my wig cap and whatnot, I'm gonna pin back most of the actual hair from the wig, that is, and I'm gonna start snipping away at all this extra lace that I got going on so it'll fit my scalp and my big old little dome properly and not look so crazy. More cute, less crazy. I know I look confident in this clip trying to cut off all of this extra lace going on, but I had to have a pep talk with myself before snipping any of this extra lace. I had to tell myself it's okay. They put extra hair on there because different heads for different beds. I don't know what that means, but we're Dr. Seuss today, okay? We're just rhyming shit to rhyme shit. Anyways, I had to convince myself that it was okay. That's what it's there for. Snip it off. This here is pretty much self-explanatory. I was just using the baby hair brush. That's what it's called. I forgot what it was. I had a brain fart moment. I was using the baby brush to get back all of those hairs that are in the front and sitting on top of the lace because I had already cut off so much. I told you about my mini panic attack that I didn't want to cut off any more than I needed to. That makes sense. It makes sense. In fact, it makes so much sense. You can see me cutting off a little bit more of the lace, right? Right. Adding on more powder, because more powder is key. We're going to add that to the inside of the lace this time. Even though we've got it on the wig cap, we still wanted to look as realistic as possible. And again, I'm not using any glue. I'm just going to put it on my head and call it a day. And now we're going to jump into the hair straightening segment. And I'm pretty sure that's self-explanatory, right? You take the hot thing with the two plates, you section off your hair, you comb through it, you put the hair through the plates, and you pull it down a little bit. Gently tug it down, slide it down to get the straightest, slickest hair possible. And give it a little bump. Not too much of a bump. Not like we going to church kind of bump, but like a little bump, and we're good. Okay, but do you see this hair though that is slowly collecting from this wig? I really didn't notice it until later, but it was a lot of hair that was coming out of the wig, and it was making me a little nervous because in my head I was thinking there was going to be a huge bald spot back there, but it turned out to be fine, and it's something typical that happens when you get these wigs wet or you wash them or something like that. It's real hair, so it's going to shed and it's not going to stay on 1000% of the time, but it was still, to say the least, a little scary for me. Okay, so here are the results of the aftermath after I done straightened it and dyed it and blow dried it. You can see right here a little bit in the red. It's a little thinner right there, and you can see the tracks. But I really don't think anybody's gonna be that close to my head to where they can, see it. It's a bit discouraging, but it'll do. This is all that hair that I was talking about earlier, about how it just kept falling and falling and falling, but it's typical. And boom, we've got the face on. The hair is done. My Todoroki wig is complete. This makeup is inspired by Todoroki. I actually really like it. It turned out a lot cuter and a lot better than I expected it to, especially for it being just my first time dyeing a wig. Like, look at that. That's really good. If you liked this video, go ahead and leave us a fatty fat like. Don't forget to comment, share if you want to, and subscribe. And I will catch you next time. Bye, bitches!